Hello, it's been a long time since I recorded. Just been busy and then got sidetracked with all sorts of things. But I was reading Miss Hickory, a childhood favorite. When I left off, she was telling the hens that they must band together so that they can make themselves safe during the winter. You must do the same as the boy hen pheasants did. You must make yourself comfortable until spring right here. If you take a stand, no of the boy hens, the boy pheasants, that's what they're called, will dare to drive you out. You must form a ladies' aid society. How? I don't know what you mean. But Hen Pheasant raised her dull little eyes to Miss Hickory's snapping ones. Easy enough. The first thing that the Ladies' Aid Society of Hillsboro does every autumn is to start making a bed quilt. They sew together pretty pieces of cloth they have gathered and saved, flowery pieces, plain pieces, but all colored. They meet at the town hall once a week to make their patched squares into one large quilt of many colors. Then they line it, stuff it, and quilt it on the frame. They sell their quilt in the spring at a church fair, but you, Hen, might as well keep yours and use it this winter. Hen Pheasant's slow-working mind reeled. Not a word of Miss Hickory's good idea had she understood. So, patches, ladies' aid, she mumbled. Yes, Miss Hickory hurried over to the edge of the woods and was gone for a few moments. She returned with some sharp green pine needles and 4 straight and slender branches for a quilting frame. She then gathered 4 beautiful fallen leaves, a russet oak leaf, a yellow beech leaf, a red maple leaf, and a golden maple leaf. She laid them together in a pattern of patchwork before Hen Pheasant and showed her how to sew them together with a pine needle. There she is, sewing with a pine needle and a thread of dried grass. It pleased Hen Pheasant. She took a pine needle in one claw and began stitching the patch of leaves. Sewing seemed to come to her naturally. Look up the mountains, Miss Hickory said, for your patterns and colors, and your quilt will be the only one of its kind. The ladies of the Ladies' Aid Society make patched quilts indoors. They also have a colored mountain to look at, but they like to make their own pattern. Hen Pheasant looked up at Temple Mountain, shining in the sun, glowing with its autumn leaves, scarlet sumac at the foot, green pines on top, layer on layer of the bright oaks and maples between. She had never looked at it before, having always felt sorry for herself when the leaves began to turn. Even to glance at that beauty brightened her. Now here, Miss Hickory went on, working briskly, is your quilting frame. She tied the 4 branches together with strong grasses to make a square frame. When you finish the patches and sew them together to make your quilt, tie it on this frame and sew it up and down, back and forth. That is called quilting. And oh, I forgot to tell you, the other thing that the Ladies' Aid Society does is to eat. They have a big dinner on the days when they meet in the town hall to work on their quilt. But Hen Pheasant scarcely heard her. She had gathered herself a pile of corn over which she was clucking, singing a little tune of happiness, stitching a patch of leaves, pecking a kernel or 2 now and then. Miss Hickory went softly away. Hen Pheasant did not see her go. She is all right now, safe for the winter. I will stop at the brush pile and tell the other hens when they may join her. I will explain to them about the Ladies' Aid Society. Miss Hickory felt like a Boy Scout as she walked briskly toward the woods. Uh-oh, there's the cat. Barn news. Cal had been gone from the barn all day, and Mr. T. Willard Brown was anxious about her. Not on Cal's account, oh no. He had only cupboard love for Cal, and had missed his daily saucer of warm milk. As he sat behind a mouse hole in the barn, Mr. T. Willard Brown's mind wandered. He remembered the day last summer when Cal had been away also, that time for a day and night. It had been a day last summer when anyone would have wished to be away from the barn. The 3 brooks that flowed through the old place's acres and emptied into the pond had been gurgling all the news they knew. Young corn was bursting into ears. Baby birds were trying their wings over the sunny grass of high mowing. Cal seldom had heed to the beauties of nature, but that day she had felt a strong urge to get away from the stalls and milking pails. She had stepped slowly over the barn threshold and taken her way heavy down the road, past high mowing, and then along First Brook into the woods. She had drunk deeply of the sweet, cool water. Then, where some young white birches made a sheltered, spinny carpet, carpeted with moss and dimly secret, Cal had lain there. That was a luxury which she seldom allowed herself. There in the hidden spinney, is it spinny or spiny? I'll have to look that up. New word. Cal had rested her big heart warm. The morning of the second day, Mr. T. Willard Brown could endure his thirst no longer. He had started to find a cow. No one in the barn seemed to share his concern about Cal, so he traveled alone. He had crept through the tall grasses of Acre Peace, followed the stone wall that marked high mowing, and then, fancying that his nose scented milk, he trailed into the woods. There, still resting on the velvet moss of the birch spinney, Mr. T. Willard Brown had found Cal. But Cal was not alone. On either side of her great brown haunches lay a young heifer. Oh. Cal turned from side to side, her brown eyes full of love, licking the first one small soft daughter with the rough tongue, then licking the other. 2 newborn heifers. She had twins. Mr. T. Willard Brown stopped dead in his tracks. Twins? That was unusual. No cow in all Hillsboro had ever given birth to twins. As he looked at the twin heifers, mottled brown like Cal, their eyes as wide and hazel as hers, the 3 saw him. Cal arose lumberingly. The 2 heifers, too, found that their spindly legs would hold them, and they stood leaning against their mothers. This way, Mr. T. Willard Brown told them, waving his long tail that quivered with excitement even to the tip. He led cow and twin heifers out of the woods towards the barn. And that's where we will leave it. This makes me remember my time on a farm as a child when our cow had a baby and our goat had babies. It was always fun. So we'll pick it up next time, hopefully not so long of a break. Until then.